What's your wellness routine look like now?
I eat dinner early in the evening. I do a nice intermittent fast.
This woman is 5 years older than me. Look at my skin. It's because I have fat in my body.
I have bone broth for lunch a lot of the days. I'll either take a walk or I'll do Pilates or I'll do my Tracy Anderson.
In a country where we've got like 20 million women who are going to experience eating disorders at some point in their life, we put so much pressure on people.
And then for dinner, I try to eat, according to paleo. So lots of vegetables. It's really important for me to support my detox.
Eat food. Eat food.
She crashed into the retired optometrist and then took off without offering help.
She screams, then skis back into the back of Terry Sanderson.
Gwyneth Paltrow is scaring fans with her lifestyle choices. It sounds like she's over-restricting herself and working to death. People online are concerned about her diet and what long-term effects this could have. So let's get into it. We need to talk about what is going on with Gwyneth Paltrow. So Gwyneth is all over the headlines, and one of those reasons is for the fact that she did a podcast recently where she shared her strict eating regimen, and some people are calling it disordered. I want to give you guys a heads up that we're going to be talking about some sensitive issues, so you may be triggered by what she has to share. Some of the things that Gwyneth talks about are pretty normal. I mean, intermittent fasting is something that a lot of people do, but people are calling her out for eating bone broth for lunch and vegetables for dinner. People are concerned about the actor's restrictive diet and called her the ultimate almond mom, a term used on TikTok to criticize parents who pass on obsessive or disordered eating. A dietitian who weighed in on the conversation online told Insider that it's simply not enough food for proper nourishment.
What's your wellness routine look like now?
I eat dinner early in the evening. I do a nice intermittent fast. I usually eat something about 12. And in the morning, I'll have some things that won't spike my blood sugar, right? So I have coffee, but I really like soup for lunch.
So everything she's sharing sounds normal so far, and I don't want to hear anything about what she looks like because she's got the brightest light on her. She's obviously not really wearing a lot of makeup, and I mean, I don't know. I just think that people are being super nitpicky about that part.
I have bone broth for lunch a lot of the days. Try to do 1 hour of movement. So I'll either take a walk or I'll do Pilates or I'll do my Tracy Anderson. And then I get in the sauna. I dry brush and I get in the sauna. So I do my infrared sauna for 30 minutes. And then for dinner, I try to eat, according to paleo. So lots of vegetables. It's really important for me to support my detox.
That lifestyle sounds exhausting, but I guess to each their own. And like I mentioned earlier, I mean, intermittent fasting is normal, but it does seem like she's doing an extreme amount and probably not consuming as much as she should, which is honestly probably due to a lot of Hollywood pressure and the industry and just, I mean, we don't know what her family's like.
The thing here is Gwyneth was asked what she does, and I'd rather have someone say to me, I starve myself and I eat bone broth to look this way, than someone that's like, oh my God, I eat anything I want.
It's just clean eating.
Because, to me, that's what feeds the dysfunction, and I don't expect Gwyneth Paltrow to be above the dysfunction that most people in this society suffer from.
It seems like this has been happening with a lot of celebrities. Like Jessica Simpson, for instance, concerned a bunch of her fans with her appearance, and now that everyone's on Ozempic, there's a drastic weight loss in Hollywood, and it's catching people's attention. So I think fans are being super critical of any celebrity's diet. I mean, one person said that this is a roundabout way of saying that she's on a liquid diet, basically. Bone broth is not a meal. I take 2 really big gulps of air twice every hour, and I'm so satisfied all day. So people are really trolling this entire interview. And the comments on TikTok do not get any better. One person writes, is this why she looks so aged? What's she detoxing? The bone broth? This literally sounds like a colonoscopy prep. Another person writes, is starving wellness? ? And while I do appreciate people acknowledging disordered eating, at the same time, I think that maybe Gwen's going through her own problems. And I've seen some TikToks that really rub me the wrong way. Like this next one I'm going to play, I don't think that this is the way that we need to approach people in these kind of situations.
Look at this woman. This woman is 5 years older than me. 5. Look at my skin. Do you know why? It's because I have fat in my body. She spends all this money to look young, and she looks like a shriveled up banana. Eat food. Eat food. I know I'm fat, but guess what? My cholesterol's good, my blood pressure's good, and my skin is beautiful. I have one age spot because I eat food.
Again, I'm not a fan of that clip, no fan to the TikToker, but I just feel like that approach is exactly why we have these problems in the industry, and probably why Gwen does everything she can to make herself extremely healthy, because she probably feels like she needs to be, because people taunt her in that way.
In a country where we've got 20 million women who are going to experience eating disorders at some point in their life, we put so much pressure on people to feel like they need to look a certain way. And for many of us, your body type is not that way. You could eat literally just bone broth and you're not going to be tiny. So
she has a point there, because what Gwyneth is describing is disordered eating. What she's describing with that amount of calorie and those workouts, it's just not enough to sustain a healthy human. Not that she's a good person or a bad person or whatever, it just is basic fact. According to the Cleveland Clinic, women ages 31 to 50 require anywhere between 1,800 calories to 2,200 calories every day, depending on physical activity. And now this has Gwyneth labeled as an almond mom, which is a term I mentioned a few minutes ago. It's a TikTok slur. I don't know. It's a term that they use to describe people who eat very little. They just eat almonds. And maybe Gwyneth is an almond mom, because she's always been this way. She's always been a super wellness health hack guru type of person. Bethany Frankel shared her opinion on her TikTok. Here's a quick clip.
Why does anyone care if Gwyneth Paltrow says that she drinks bone broth for breakfast and intermittent fasts? This is the woman that does cupping and ozone therapy up the ass and only ate macrobiotic for years until she was pregnant, and then she ate meat, which was an uproar. And she has a wellness website. So you can't expect a dog to be a cat. This is a woman who made millions off a candle that was called "This Candle Smells Like My Vagina." Don't hate, because she's just being truthful and being who she is and who she always has been. So it's almost I don't know if you want her to tell the truth or lie. If she says she ate a fucking cheeseburger for lunch, you're going to say she's full of shit.
So maybe that's just how Gwyneth is. It's just Gwyneth being Gwyneth. But I also understand the concern, because it's not healthy. You cannot sustain a life like this. Fans should be concerned, because these celebrities are put under so much pressure into this box where they really convince themselves that this is the way to go. But since the interview aired, Gwyneth has clarified her statements on her Instagram story. She writes that she eats far more than bone broth and vegetables, and that she wasn't sharing advice for anyone. She shares that she's experiencing post-COVID symptoms. She explains, the way it manifests for me is very high levels of inflammation over time. So I've been working with Dr. Cole to really focus on foods that aren't inflammatory. She continued, I eat full meals. I also have a lot of days of eating whatever I want and, eating French fries or whatever. So it sounds like she's trying to save herself there, which I get it. And I'm sure, when you're in the podcast and you've got the lights and the microphone, you're probably like, you know what? Yeah, I don't eat a thing. And she probably does eat, more than what she says in that interview, but at the same time, I would believe it if she's restricting herself to that level. It almost seems like having these type of diets are popular. You're the cool girl if you just don't eat that much. And highly restrictive diets can lack essential nutrients, people, so you need to have your essential nutrients. Over detoxing is also an issue. She mentioned that she's detoxing, but if you detox too much, you mess with your natural system. So you can't do that too often. Maybe she's detoxing the COVID, but at the same time, if you're doing a bunch of different treatments and regimens, it can be super hard on your body.
I couldn't even get to the bone broth and intermittent fasting part, because the other thing she said is, I have used ozone therapy rectally. What is that? She's doing what?
That shining sun up your butt?
No, listen, I'll tell you what it is.
In other news, Gwyneth is in the headlines because she's in court right now because she got into a skiing accident, which is very serious, I guess. Now it's in court. I mean, skiing accidents happen all the time, so I'm surprised to see that they're going to trial and sharing their stories about what happened, and this man is claiming that Gwyneth came down the hill, hit him, and like he was in pain and just left him, I guess, to die.
On vacation with her family, was turning to look at her children skiing when she crashed into the retired optometrist and then took off without offering help.
She turns her head up to look at her children. As she turns her head back down, she screams, then skis back into the back of Terry Sanderson.
It all sounds pretty brutal, and he's suing her for a pretty penny, but Gwyneth is putting up a fight and claiming that she didn't do it, even though witnesses claim that she did.
One witness who was skiing with Sanderson took the stand.
I looked over, and then about, maybe 1 or 2 seconds, and then I heard the scream, and then I see this skier just slam into the back of Terry.
But Paltrow's lawyers deny she caused the crash.
We believe it to be utter BS.
Her attorneys claim it was Sanderson who plowed into Paltrow's back.
Gwyneth was hurt by Mr. Sanderson's negligence. It rattled her and it physically hurt her.
Anderson is seeking $300,000 in damages after first suing for $3 million. He changed his complaint after Paltrow countersued.
I hope there is justice there. I kind of feel like she did this podcast to distract from this ski case so that everyone would be talking about her bone broth and not how she broke the bones off this guy right there. But here's my email if you guys have any other video ideas for me. My podcast comes out on March 28th. Let's go ahead and open a P.O. Box package item. It looks like it's from Justine. Let's go ahead and see what they have here. Dear Sloan, I've been watching your channel for several years now, and over that time, you have become one of my favorite YouTubers. You are so talented in relaying information to your viewers, and you always do it in a kind, thoughtful, and sensitive manner. I recently published my first poetry book, Seasons of a Beating Heart, and I wanted to share it with you. The chapters are broken into 4 seasons with each one covering a different season. Aw, that's so cute. Heartbreak, grief, growth. It's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble website. Cute. I will link it below, and I really appreciate that, Justine. That's so sweet. Thank you for being you. Oh, you're too nice, and look at the cute card. I like that. And here's the poetry book. Wow. I love that. I want a book one day, but I really cannot write. So, to love and be loved. Love is powerful and abundant. I believe that's why we're here, to love bravely and fiercely without hesitation or fear. Love holds the heart together. Love breaks the heart in two. Through it all, how beautiful it is to love and be loved by you. I was messing up at the end. It was cute, though. To love and be loved by you. Oh, and that's the summer one. I want summer. Anyways, I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Bye, guys.